My professor sent me this article about this woman named Karen Jennings. I'm pretty sure I mentioned her before. She was longlisted for the Booker Prize after tons of rejections, and then she finally got this book published with a small publisher, and then she didn't even sell enough books to make back the money the publisher spent on her. And she's still in my mind because the article I read, it was with The Guardian, ends with this really interesting sentiment. She really, really believed in the work, like in the story she was telling, and not even necessarily in her. And I can relate to that because I don't always feel like I'm on the right path or that I'm necessarily good at what I do. I don't always have that feeling, but I have that faith, that thought. I mean, that's why I journal every day and just kind of build up that faith and thought. It's almost like an immune system to all the nonsense that will come and attack me and say, no, I'm wrong, or I'm silly, or I'm being childish for being a writer. And maybe I am. I don't know. All those things are possible, but I do believe in this story. And I had this moment today where I was working on my outline and I felt like the story was boring, was just really dull and not working out and not going to be good. And I felt like the amount of research that I'd have to pour into this to make this work was really not going to be possible or feasible. And I don't know why I thought this. I don't know what the future holds. But that's what I thought. But my belief in the story, and even my belief in myself, even when I don't feel like I'm good at writing, kept those thoughts at bay. And I appreciate that. I do. Interesting thing about the research, this is something that I'm personally really big on because stories often I often gravitate to stories that have elements of truth in them. And I think that's a human thing. We want to be able to, sure, suspend reality, but also have something in a story we can believe in and hold on to as being realistic. Even if you're in a story about aliens, in some way, that's really just a question of what are the story's rules. Like with Star Wars, who gets to use the Force? What does it mean when people use the Force? And as long as the story has rules, then that's something that a reader or an audience member can hold on to no matter how crazy the story may be, because we live in a world of rules. We live in a world of gravity and a world where we can't live underwater because we need to breathe. These are rules. So if your story is built similarly and is structured in a way that makes sense and holds true and it's consistent, it makes it easier to believe. So that's kind of one of my problems as far as research. It's not really a problem, it's just a challenge. But another thing I think about is how whenever I watch a movie, and say it's a movie based on a true story, almost every time I'm on Wikipedia reading about the person. So like when I watched Braveheart for the first time, I was on Wikipedia reading about William Wallace, trying to figure out what was true about the movie, what wasn't true. And I'm also just kind of deepening my experience with the story, kind of deep digging into the truth behind the story and what that means for me as an audience member and also me as a person, because the pursuit of truth is essential, I think. I can't remember who said it. It might have been Thomas Aquinas. I don't know. Something about how the truth belongs to God, but the pursuit of truth belongs to humanity. And I like that. Something else I've been thinking about lately, somebody wrote this a week or two ago. It was about Anthony Bourdain because the documentary about his life and early death came out a few weeks ago. And it was really just a very poignant paragraph about how writers say it's just about the story and it's just about the work. And yeah, maybe sometimes it is, but really, at the end of the day, it's probably about being loved. I mean, my perspective on storytelling is every story is about one or two things. Actually, one thing: fear and love, and the tension between the two. Um, Darth Vader was a villain because he ran toward his fear and away from the thing he loved, and he was redeemed because he ran toward the thing he loved at the end, saving his son's life. And I was thinking about that because I guess I sometimes wonder about the purity of storytelling. The purity, for me personally, the purity of my writing attempts. How much of this is vanity? And if it's a lot, I guess that's okay. I guess I'm gonna have to love myself anyway. How much of this is a fear of my own death, a fear of not being loved? Like I record all these videos and I keep them on a hard drive because maybe I want to pass them on to my child one day, or maybe they'll be important. I don't know. Maybe that's a way I'll be able to feel love beyond the grave. I don't know. But it seems right. It seems true that ultimately I do this. I work so hard at this because I want to feel loved. Even though I feel loved in the moment, but Who can't use more love? Who can't use more love as a person and as an artist and as a man and as a son, as a husband, as an et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's funny, for all the technical stuff and the technique and the studying and the MFA and the money and the editing and the rewriting, all this work comes down to this basic human need that we're all in dire want of, just to be loved. I think there's something true to that. And I think for me, it's best if I just accept it, that that's a part of this journey too. I want to be loved. You probably do too. Deuces.